Hello everyone, my name is Eric Kelly. I'm the local sales manager for Legrand here in northern New Jersey. Legrand has several brands, and today I want to talk to you about pathway products, specifically innovative pathway products that are used either in the floor, in desktops, or on walls. So some of the products I want to discuss today are products that maybe there are no competition on the market. So they're very innovative and they're unlike any other that may be on the market. So with that said, I'd like to dive right in and talk about floor boxes. This particular box I have in front of me is a 10-gang floor box. It has high capacity, very heavy density. It's called the Evolution series of floor boxes. Evolution meaning the next series of boxes in the way of which boxes are developed in the marketplace. Some of the notable things about this particular box is that one box can go all. What I mean by that is it comes in a 6-gang, 8-gang, or 10-gang configuration. It can go in wood floor, concrete floors, raised floors, or wood floors, even in a terrazzo environment. So one box gives you the same look for all. You notice on the top, there's a carpet insert here, which allows you to, so an indentation would allow you to put a carpet or tile insert here. It also comes with the top that is flush, so if the customer did not want that, they can get that as well. Has a nice locking hinge here and egress points, so when it's closed, your cables would exit through either side of egress points. You'll notice on the outside of the box, there are several conduit feeds on this side, all around the box on this side, and on the bottom as well. All the new boxes that Legrand, specifically our brand Wiremold manufacturers, are manufactured with up to a 2-inch conduit feed. Because of the high density, specifically the IT cables, so the data cables feeding into the boxes, that's the way we're looking at technology these days. So all of our boxes would come with a 2-inch feed, which is one here. The way this particular box is developed is that you could actually put whatever conduit feed plate you want on this side or on this particular side. So let's open up the box. I'm going to take a look. The box is gasketed, so when it's closed, water cannot feed inside it. This particular box has 10 gangs. So on this one side here, there are 10 gangs, and on this particular side over here, there are 5 gangs as well. So 5 and 5 equals 10 gangs. I may have said 8. I meant to say 5 and 5. If it was an 8-gang box, it would be 8, 4, and 4. And if it was a 6-gang box, it would either be first for feed and 3 and 3. Obviously, the boxes would be significantly smaller than this particular box based on the number of gangs on the inside. Some of the notable differences, there's a wire management on each side, over here on this side as well. Take standardized faceplates. So what I mean by that, if I were utilizing all 5 gangs on this particular side, I could take a 5-gang faceplate and put it right in this particular side. What's nice about this from the contractor perspective is that this whole inside gut side here and on this particular side comes out with loosening 4 screws. So I would take 4 screws, actually have the ability to take out the inside guts, do all my wiring, and reinstall them. That's particularly useful because of the close contact you can see inside the box. It's very rough to manipulate, hit your hands, screwdrivers, tools, and do termination of IT cables. Very key feature for this particular box. You notice the inside is painted white, and it also has cable management on one side. On this particular side over here, there's a barrier that allows you to go from one side to the other. So if you want to run power on one particular side and use 2 gangs on another side for power, you can do that as well. It does come with dividers for each gang, so each gang can be divided particularly as needed. And the colors that the particular top come in are noted on the slide, such as black, brass, bronze, nickel, and gray. So a good variety for mixed particular environments to meet the user's particular application. The box also comes, as I mentioned earlier, one box does it all. What we don't see here today, and you'll see on the slide, is that it can come with a green epoxy, which would be for on-grade applications. So it will be a sealed epoxy that would prohibit water from intruding into the box if it was going in a damp or wet environment, specifically on a grade application on the first floor. That's the key difference. If this particular box were to be a cast, which most particular boxes these days are, if they're not plastic, it would be several $1,000s for a box of this size. So it really keeps the cost down by having that epoxy. So I mentioned before, one box does it all. You'll see a slide here indicating how the guts of the box come out with cable management as well on the inside as discussed. And as I mentioned before, it's even applicable for terrazzo applications, granite and raised floor or wood floors. So if your customer is worried about a particular look, they have varying floors within the environment that they are putting the box in, one box will give them the same look, whether it's the 6-gang, 8-gang, or 10-gang floor box. Very unique box, very well used in applications where there's high density and maybe even for IT. So let's move on to another series of boxes I wanted to share with you today. That's our new Ratchet Pro series of boxes. And what's nice about these particular boxes are that they have a plastic top. And what I mean by that is when they're installed, most boxes have to be leveled. There are leveling legs here that are utilized for leveling the box, either on some type of chipstone or blocks prior to cement being poured around the box. That's not too much of a concern with these type of boxes because they're plastic. So when cement is poured around them, whatever's sticking out of the remaining dry cement, you would just take a Sawzall and cut them off. So very user-friendly from the installation perspective. Once again, these boxes come with a 2-inch conduit feed on both sides. This particular box happens to be all plastic, so very well suited for on-grade applications. This particular box has an upper plastic top and a steel bottom, which once again can come with an epoxy coating on the bottom for on-grade applications if they choose to use a box that has this metal bottom. I've indicated on the previous floor box that we're designing all of our floor boxes with a 2-inch conduit feed in and out of the box. Both boxes, again, have that. And on this metal box, there's a plate that would go here that screws off with 4 screws, and you would put in your 2-inch conduit feed plate. You would do the same on this side. All 4 sides have conduit feeds. 2 sides are only sides that can be, plates can be interchanged. So that's what's unique about that. Has a variety of different tops, as you can see from the slide. Comes in brass, black, aluminum, brushed aluminum, I should say, and very well more of an economical box. It allows for dual service. So if you are putting in the box voice and data, you would utilize a top such as this here. Thus the name Ratchet Pro, because there are actually little tabs here. If we can go into that real quick, Margaret, to just show you what that top may look like. There are little tabs that actually go in and lock in the box. So there are tabs here, if I get this right, that lock into the box right here. You'll see them here. You'll see another one on the other side over here. And they have little notches on them. That's good, Margaret. Thank you. That go in, and they would lock into the box, and you hear it actually click, 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 and ratchet into the box. So once again, how this box would be installed, this particular box has leveling legs. You would level it down to a diameter that you think it would go, or this box here would just sit on some type of structure, whether it be chipstone or a block. Concrete would be poured around it, and then you would take a Sawzall, cut off the top. Once the top is level, you actually take and just put this top right on. If you didn't get a good cut with your Sawzall, you could actually take a sander and make this level with the floor. So very easy and economical box with a 2-inch feed that has a variety of tops, dual service for voice and data in one particular box. So our Ratchet Pro series of boxes. So I want to move now on to poke-throughs. I think a good majority of us know what poke-throughs are. If I can advance the slide. Thank you. I want to talk about poke-throughs. You know, traditionally up until about 2 years ago, the only type of poke-through on the market was a poke-through that was either 2, 3, or 4 inches. And Legrand developed, again, stayed with the same name, Evolution series of floor boxes. We actually stayed with the name on poke throughs as well, with the Evolution series of poke throughs. Again, meaning the next generation of poke throughs that were to be developed at Wiremold. We come up with a 6-gang, 8-gang, and now we have a 10-gang poke through I'm going to show you, which is probably, you may be some of the first in the marketplace to actually see a 10-gang poke through. On the very left of your screen, you'll see a poke through, which was the highest density type of poke through you can get up until about 2 years ago, which was 2 duplex and 4 data. The Guan up the ante came out with a 6-inch poke through and an 8-inch poke through, called our Evolution series of poke throughs. This particular one I have in front of me is an 8-inch poke through. And you'll see in a moment here how small it looks next to the 10-inch poke through. And if I had a 4-inch poke through, it would look even smaller. The reason for the development of these poke throughs are because of the high density within the poke throughs. And on the 6-inch, we could even put a furniture feed. You probably wouldn't need that for the 8 or 10, but on a 6-inch, you could actually put up to a 2-inch concentric plug on the top, as seen on the screen here. Comes in a variety of different colors. Here are your egress points, similar to the box I just showed you before on either side, the Evolution box. So when it's being utilized, the cables will stick out of here. The user would open this up, and on the inside, they would have several gangs that they could actually utilize services. Down the middle, there would be 3 gangs, that they would utilize down the middle. That can be separated with a divider, and 1 gang on each side. This particular one I left empty to kind of give you a flare. You can see the division between the gangs on the inside. You can see here, there's a duplex, and there's a duplex on the other side as well. This is a poke through that if I were to back up one slide, you would see, again, up until about 2 years ago, traditional poke throughs where you would plug them in from the top. We call these flush poke throughs now. So you could actually take, and you'll see us in the middle picture there on the slide on your screen, where you could actually insert the cables into the poke through, and the only thing you see coming out of the cables. So it allows the user a little bit more aesthetically pleasing situation. The white on this particular poke through here is the intromescent material, so it seals on the top around the core drill. And in the bottom of the poke through, if I were to take my finger and insert it inside one of the gangs, there's a rough material on each gang that actually would seal the bottom, so water would not pee through the poke through, nor from the outside or from the inside of the poke through. So a very unique type of different poke through on the marketplace. Suitors have followed, and that is what we refer to as our 8-inch poke through. And up until several weeks ago, that was the highest density poke through on the marketplace. As I mentioned before, Legrand decided to up the ante, and we came up with a 10-inch poke through. So what you're seeing now is probably something that a lot of people in the country have not seen. This is a 10-inch poke through. To give you an idea of how the top scope and size of the actual poke throughs, let me put the 8-inch next to it. So that's the 8-inch, which looks small now, relatively small, compared to a 10-inch poke through. Same type of top, although there's a better hinge design, which will also flow onto the other Evolution series poke throughs, which I just showed you, namely the 6 and 8-inch. Has a nice handle here, a larger hinge. Your egress points are slides again, once again here on both sides. There's a slide here mechanism, and there's a slide mechanism here. So when it's activated, the cables would go in there. Here's your intromescent material, the white. You notice this is all almost like a junction box. So I refer to it almost as a junction box. Top is again steel, and it comes in a variety of different colors. Need to advance my slide. Sorry about that. So if I were to open it up, you'll see in the inside, in the middle, I actually have 5 gangs right down the middle. 4 gangs down the middle. And then 2 on the side, and then 2 on this particular side as well. So I could get up to 10 gangs in this particular poke through. What's unique about it is we can get twist lock devices in here. 8 gangs, my apologies. We can get twist lock devices in here. It has a high capacity for data. Virtually any manufacturer's keystone jacks will go in here with a bezel. We can get IT applications we have here, and we have power up on this end here, and we have power down on this end here. To give you an idea of the depth of this here, let me just stick my hand in, and you'll kind of get an idea of the depth of how deep that is, that poke through. You can kind of see. So perhaps about 4 inches it goes down. All the poke throughs have a 2-hour classified rating, so approximately when the temperature within the floor were to reach 385 degrees, this white intermescent material were to swell. All the gangs on the inside are divided, and on the bottom side, we look here, there are individual plates that coincide with the above plates. I think earlier I mentioned this 10 gangs in here is 8, so I apologize about that. I misspoke. So 4 gangs in the middle, 2 gangs on the side here, and there could be up to 2 gangs here. So for a total of 8 gangs. 10-inch poke through, 8 gang capacity. If you wanted to, again, this is set up for demonstration purposes. I can put a 2-inch conduit feed here, take these 2 stubs out, and put a 2-inch conduit feed here as well. So I could actually, again, following the theme as we talked earlier, putting 2-inch conduit feeds, I can put 2 2-inch conduit feeds into this poke through. You'll notice the bottom does not have a traditional type of stem, such as all the other poke throughs on the market. Stem being this part here, where your termination for your cables are done, that come with the particular poke through. So in this poke through, the poke throughs always have a stem. That stem goes to the devices, the electrical devices that are already inside the poke through. It makes it easy for the contractor to do his terminations to the electrical devices there. This is the first poke through of its kind where all the terminations are done inside the poke through. So I would come up with, if I were running electric, I would come up with my conduit directly to the stub here, the corresponding stub, 1/4 inch, 3/4, 1/2 inch, 2 inch, whatever that conduit feed would be. Do all my terminations on the inside of the poke through. That's the junction box. All the terminations would be done down in this particular part of the poke through. That's the first of its kind, very unique. And as I mentioned before, the first 10-inch poke through on the market. High density applications. Why do you use a poke through like this? For applications where there's a ton of different density in here, and maybe a lot of AV, versus putting several 4-inch poke throughs or 2 6 or 8-inch poke throughs, you were able to put one of these particular poke throughs. Very well liked by AV designers, where they can put a lot of AV capacity in here, maybe some twist lock devices, as well as their power and IT applications. First of its kind in the market, and I hope you enjoyed seeing that's a 10-inch poke through. It is pretty heavy. It's about 25 inch-pounds. The reason Legrand chose to go with a 10-inch poke through, because if we were to look at the current offering of mechanical systems, traditionally we do see sometimes there is a 10-inch core drill in the closets, mechanical closets, because of the plumbing piping. So there are core drills on the market for a 10-inch. This slide here indicates the number of different colors. It comes in a variety of different colors, more so than the other Evolution series, which will catch up to this eventually. Brass, nickel, bronze, brushed aluminum, black, gray, and a variety of other colors to meet aesthetically pleasing applications. So that's a little bit about our Evolution series of floor boxes, our Evolution series of poke throughs, and I'd like to move now over to another product we call Over the Floor Raceway. There are some slides here you'll see that actually allow you to view, which I covered previously about the particular 10-inch poke through. Another product on the market which is really innovative. When we talk about getting power and IT out to a desktop user in a particular work environment, commercial office space, hospital, whatever the setting may be, there are 4 different ways. You're going to do a system whereby they have a floor box on the floor. Second way would be so you'd have to chase that floor box. You'd have to flick up the concrete. If the concrete was already in place, you'd chip it up. Second would be a poke through. Third would be a power column. And then fourth would be over the floor raceway. So 4 applications there for in-floor applications. This is an over the floor raceway. It's very difficult to see and understand the size and scope in this presentation, but it's very, very thin. It has 4 dividers on the end, as you see in the slide in front of you, that are divided, fully divided, allowing for IT cable, fiber optics, coax, as well as your power applications of cables that go in there as well. Within our brochure and online, there's a wire fill chart indicating the number of capacity per each channel. And how it's installed is I actually kind of made a little mock-up for everybody. This particular section here comes in 10-feet sections. Comes in black only at this particular time. The bottom is all aluminum. It's ADA compliant, and it takes up to 300 pounds per square inch. What's nice about it, it is UL listed, as I mentioned before, ADA compliant, so less of a tripping hazard. People often think of over-the-floor raceway as a tripping hazard. There's no need to worry in that respect. We see it used a lot in conference rooms, getting power and data out the tables that are in the middle of a room, or perhaps at a gym where there's a lot of machinery, such as workout material, treadmills, and step machines, and the like. So you would run your particular raceway on the floor, and what's nice about this, I said I'm going to show you an innovative product. It's the only product of its kind that's UL listed to go on top of the floor. So the 10-foot sections can be cut easily with a bandsaw, chop saw. It would go on the floor. You can put it right on top of the carpet. No need to take up carpet tiles, no need to scrape. It's UL listed and ADA compliant to go on top of carpet, tile, wood floor, whatever type of surface is already on the concrete floor or whatever flooring there may be on the base of the floor already. This particular device on this end, it can feed from a wall surface, has concentric knockouts on this end. That's one way it can be fed. It could be fed down by raceway, has another fitting for several different types of raceway that Legrand offers. It would come out to a fitting like this. We call this our box, our housing. And in here, it's fully divided down the middle, and we put our power on one side and IT on the other side. There are plates that come with this box. This is a single gang, so here I have a duplex, single duplex. On the other side would look exactly the same for my IT, with it divided down the middle. If I wanted to put two duplex, that would be the max capacity. That would be almost double the size of this box, and I would be able to put one duplex here, one duplex next to it, so it would be a double box like this here. Comes with all the fittings. I can make left-hand, right-hand turns, terminate the raceway in the middle of the floor if I need to. So I wanted to show you that because it's the first of its kind that allows you to actually put the raceway on top of the floor. So very, very different. The only color that it comes in is black. Over the floor raceway. I have one or two three other products I want to show you. Maybe not very unique, but similar unique to the marketplace is plug mold. Plug mold's been around for a number of years now. And what we actually have done is integrated GFIs and USBs into plug mold. This particular plug mold has a plug here, has USBs here. Anything that has USBs these days is very hot. In this 10-inch poke through, there was a duplex with USBs for charging as well. You would utilize this for charging as well. We have plug mold that would have all USBs or alternating circuits with power and USBs for charging. Comes fully assembled like this here. Comes in white, black, stainless, and aluminum. What's unique about this particular black model, which you really can't see, but there is a GFI here. So there's a regular outlet here and a GFI here. So traditionally, when a contractor is installing this in a lab environment, over a sink environment, he has to run a GFI back at his panel, or he'll put a GFI below the sink to protect this particular strip of plug mold. Now, the GFI is actually built right into the plug mold. Big time saver, again, innovative product, time saver for the contractor, makes it much easier for him to install. All these products, plug mold products, they're called Plug Mold 2000 series. They come in white, again, black, stainless, and aluminum. The products I wanted to talk about, one is the wall box. So we talk about wall boxes. I apologize that I haven't. Yes.
Is the GFI of the new self-testing requirement?
It's not a requirement, no. The new self-testing GFI in this plug mold is not a requirement. However, it's a time saver, labor savings, if you will, for the contractor in that he only has to install the plug mold and not have to worry about putting an additional GFI somewhere along the line. There's a picture here just kind of depicting it virtually anywhere it can be used, over above sinks, in lab environments, airports. Traditionally, we've seen this used in a residential environment. That's the colors for the white and the black, as well as the chrome stainless steel. Thank you for that question. So, I just want to move on. Oh, one quick point I didn't mention about all the plug mold. When there's a plug within our plug mold, the devices are tamper resistant. That's key. Key point I should have noted out. So all the devices within these plug mold strips are tamper resistant. So I want to move on to our wall box. Great for educational markets, hospitals, areas where there's a need for a steel wall box in a commercial environment, where a traditional maybe plastic box we wouldn't see go. Comes in a 2-gang, comes in a 4-gang configuration. Traditionally, you'll see a slide here of power wiring on the wall on one of the top slides maybe. We may have different plates. Now we can have one box do it all. So we'll have one box that opens up. It's painted white, comes in white only at this particular time, fits between a 16, 24-inch studs, comes with a variety of different secure points on the end here. Again, keeping in the theme of IT and developing product with the 2-inch knockout, comes with a 2-inch knockout on this side, a 1.5, 3/4, and 1/2 inch on this side. If you want to put a 2-inch on this side, you would unscrew 2 screws and actually take off this plate, put a new plate on, and you would be able to put your 2-inch. As a lock, we have a lockable version, we have a non-lockable version, we have a hinged version, notice the hinge, and a non-hinged version. There's an egress point here, so if you wanted to lock it, your cables would exit through this particular point here. Let's see, it was being used in a hospital environment behind a TV. You wanted to lock the actual box and then have the cables exit through this egress point here, you can do that. Again, this particular unit is 4 gangs. There are 4 gangs up here. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you wanted to go with an 8-gang, you would actually have another 4 gangs on this side. And if I refer back to the first box that I showed you, our Evolution Series floor box, this is our Evolution Series wall box, being the next generation of wall boxes that goes into commercial office space. Again, this particular piece right here would actually be unsecured by 2 screws. I can take it out, lay it on the table, do all my terminations, and as you can see, it's very difficult just to get my hand in here, let alone trying to get a tool to screw down this particular outlet here. And I would just put back the whole complete device, 4 gangs, and install it back and allow it to be used in that environment. So that is the Evolution Series of wall boxes. I'll give you a look around from behind. Again, points on the side for your conduit fittings, and a Evolution Series wall box. So the last item I want to talk about, up-and-coming technology within the IT environment. And we came up with a product called Integrate. And what this allows us to do is, how many times have we been in an office environment where we go to a conference room and we look at, and I'm going to back up my slide here, we look at this. If you look at some of the instances here where there are cords on top of a table, perhaps under a table, it gets very messy. It's not appealing, it's not very impressive, and especially the higher cost of some of our conference room furniture that exists today, the users want to have a solution that is a little bit more neater, tighter, and less, more appealing to the eye, if you will. So we came up with a product called Integrate series of table boxes. The way this works is this particular box here would come with a template that will allow you to cut out the exact size that is needed to go on the table. the actual boxes drop down in the table, and below the table, these cartridges actually go on. I have one in place already, and they actually go on by a series of hinges. We can't see too well here on our screen, but I'm actually going to just put them on like that, and they go like that. So you'll see there's a wide spread here, from here to here, excuse me. But if I were to actually didn't have that much room, didn't have that much spread, we have another bracket that allows you to put these two cartridges below the table. What's unique about this box? It allows you to put AV and IT in here. So if I were doing a presentation today and needed to hook up my laptop and I had this box, I would actually open the box up, take out whatever cable I needed. It's secure, plug it into my laptop, do my presentation, and then at the end of the day, I would just snap it back into the box, and I've got a nice clean look to how the conference room table looks on the top. These cartridges come in 4 different types right now. We have a USB, RJ45, and several others, I believe, at this point in time. More to be added as we talk, as a matter of fact, more cartridges to be added. So that is our Integrate series of boxes, if you will, and I wanted to show you this because of the cartridge design that integrates with this particular box. I thought it was very unique. So as that falls down, I hope you found this session today very useful. I want to thank you for participating and listening to me talk about some of our latest innovative products here at Wiremold Webex. Thanks, and have a great day. We done?